Hey folks, this is Gazwan Kari over at SharePointQuester.com. Have you ever stumbled upon not being able to set up permissions on a list view in SharePoint? Well, I have many times, and last week I got the exact same requirement. Someone wanted a specific permission set on a view of a list in SharePoint. So the requirement specifically was building a time off report through a list, having all employees go to that list and fill in their time off report, and being able to view their own time off report through that list. And then there's another set of employees under HR who should be able to go and see everyone's time off report. So I've got two entities, employees and HR, going against the exact same list but expected to see different things. And specifically speaking, because this is an HR violation, each and every employee should see only their information, and HR should see everyone else or everyone's information. So this is how I did it, and so there's the process. First of all, I created the list, which is my time off report. Here's the list. It's my time off report, and this list has basically a description, the time off type, the name of the employee, the manager's name, the allocated time, and the hours taken, and then I calculated how many hours are left, and then I also exposed who created this record. So that's step number one, create the list. Step number two, set up permissions on the list. Specifically speaking, two sets of permissions. You get again two entities. You get regular employees who will have contribute access so that they can add and view, and then we've got HR who should only have full access or should have full access on the list. Now I broke inheritance from the site to make sure that this permission set is given. That's step number two. Step number three, what I did, I went ahead and I created a web parts page. So if I go to my site pages, there's a web parts page. This web parts page basically is just a web parts page with a web part on it. This web part is configured to bind to the time off report, to the list. And on the web part page, I changed permissions so that only HR has full control to the page. Now I have other members in here, but they are not part of my regular employees. Again, these would be HR. So that's my fourth step, to create a web part page and then drop a web part on the page and bind it to your list. Then, and only then, I went back, because I tried it other ways, but then and only then, I went back to my main list, which is my time off report list, and then I went into my list settings. I went to my default view. Doesn't matter how many views you got in here, whatever you got going on the main page, when it loads up, go to that view and then drop to where it says filter and change to say show items only when the following filter is true. Created by is equal to me, and go ahead and click OK. Notice that I'm logged in as administrator and I'm seeing only two items from this view, but when I go to my time off report admin, I'm seeing a lot more than two. I'm seeing everyone's time off report. So if needed, you can add these links for easier access. But again, these were the steps: create the list, set the permission on the list for both entities, create a web part page, give HR the specific set on specific permission on the web part page, drop a web part on the page, bind it to your list, go back to your list, and then change the view by adding a filter that says created by. Now in your case, it may not be created by, it may be the name of the employee itself, it may be some other field that you want to filter by. Whatever it is that the default behavior or the default view should look like, that's the requirement, and then we're kind of dropping remotely from a web part page and looking at everything else. And then again, like I said, you can add links to the from the main page for easier access, or you can make them part of your navigation. Hopefully this will you'll find this useful, and you'll be able to configure it against some of the sites that do require list view permissions set on them. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.